What's up, everybody? Another episode, another edition of the Football A podcast. It's your boys, West Hopwood, Big Hoppa, Ant, over on the ones and twos. Ant, you asked what we wanted to talk about, what order of things today, and I left a piece of information out. As you know, I'm a degenerate gambler and I have placed a wager.
I love it. I want to hear
Do
it.
you care? You want to know what it is?
I would love to.
It is for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders to go the distance and win the Grey Cup. How do you feel about
I wish you didn't tell me that, Hop. I wish he didn't tell me that. It's the ultimate mush. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. We talked last week that I had Montreal beating Saskatchewan, and you had Saskatchewan winning. And if that were to happen, the entire time we spent going to the game would just be going back and forth of you saying my team's gonna win and me saying your team is gonna win. That's the entire car ride. All however many hours it would be exactly that conversation. But no way, Montreal's way better. You guys are definitely gonna win. So this is what I feel like this is, Hop, and it hurts. It hurts. It's fine. I know that's not actually what it is. I know you actually believe in the Rough Riders, but
I know.
it
And
feels like
that's
a mush.
yeah, I know. And like you said, if it comes down to it, there's going to be a just disgusting display of reverse jinxing for sure. But I couldn't after week one, and I know it's a knee jerk reaction, but such a great game from Saskatchewan in the opener. I couldn't waste the potential value. I just don't see. There's a reason I picked them to win the whole thing, and like I said, I just sometimes you got to believe because that game to open up the season was just incredible. The defense, I mean, I don't know that a team clicked more immediately, offensively, defensively. Alfred almost housed one on special teams, was probably a tackle away. I mean, it was just such a great game from Saskatchewan.
It was awesome. I had my buddy Ben over his first ever CFL game. I had him fully on board. We were rocking. It was a really good game from both sides. I mean, you talked about us. Drew Brown threw for 400 yards and three touchdowns. Like we
Yeah.
played a really good game. Ottawa played really good. We played really good. I thought it was incredible. It was a great game to kick off the season. There were a lot of or a lot of not as good games this weekend. I'm glad that the first one was that one was the good one. Bring
Yeah,
everybody in on the first game.
definitely. We'll talk more about Drew Brown here in a minute or two. But yeah, it was a hot start. I was locked in. I mean, AJ is a question
Yep.
at this point, but you go out and get Kadeem Carey, who we've only just spoke highly of. So he goes into the running back room as well. I was surprised it wasn't Mario Anderson, the kid from Memphis, who I love, who I thought was going to be an NFL draft pick, but the other backup, I forget his name now, which isn't very fair to him, but
Um,
he ran the rock. It's not Thice, is it?
Bertrand Hudon.
Oh
Or,
yeah. Thice is the fucking Montreal kid. But yeah, he ran it pretty well. Trevor was, I mean, he was dotting it up. It was such a good game, like you said.
I, it was another game. I know we talked about this last week. Those games where you watch it and it feels great, and then you look at the stats and it was like meh. So again, watching it, I felt like Trevor had this great game. And then today, I'm going to look. I'm putting on our notes for this week, and I go to look up the stats. Trevor only had 277, two touchdowns, one pick. Those are not good numbers.
Yeah,
They're really not. What's the complete 19 of 26? Not not a terribly great game, but watching it, I felt like he was in control the whole time. He was playing really good, and it gives me good vibes the rest of the way.
absolutely. It was a hot start. We mentioned Drew B. So
Sir.
now there's multifaceted thing to this Drew Brown thing because you have him as your MOP this year.
Yep.
Throws for four hundo, like you said, which may give you pause, but he's out this week against Montreal for Ottawa's home opener. He's now at three straight games with 400 plus passing yards. He's two away from the GOAT, Doug Flutie, to tie his mark. There's a couple streaks. this week. But so Drew will have to wait a week to try to go for 400 again. But Kadeem now to the Rough Rider backfield. It'll be interesting to see since they get the late. I think they're the late game on Saturday. It's a double Saturday game, which I kind of
They
love.
are the 7 o'clock game on Saturday. I am excited for Kadeem Carey. Sad that probably means that Thor's going to be out for a while, but I like Kadeem Carey a lot, and he'll do good. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
absolutely. It's a real shame when you have to bring in arguably the best running back in the league who couldn't stay on his team from contract issues to be your new guy. So real shame to have such a embarrassment of riches.
Mm.
Um, Drew Brown that 400-yard game threw a TD to Eugene Lewis. He is now one game with a backup quarterback now this week, home opener, like I said, against Montreal. One touchdown this week, short of tying the record for consecutive games with a touchdown. I forget, it's some old guy. I don't know who it is. Well, actually, I could look it up, but I'm choosing not to in this moment. For 10 straight. So that'll be something to watch. But I mean, Saskatchewan played a great game, felt pretty in control the whole time. Montreal Friday night, I couldn't watch. But good Lord, did that team. I mean, we couldn't have started the season hotter, the two of us.
It yeah, I you guys looked very very good. There,
It was a lot better than
I'm
I
not gonna mush it
anticipated.
back to you, but you guys looked really good. There was, I mean, literally never a doubt about that game. That was comfortable. It was good. They played really well.
Yeah, Davis felt like he was playing well. We were able to run the ball. Thomas Erlington. We got kind of everybody. It was a perfect Montreal game and the perfect Football A podcast game where Davis played well. Caleb found his way into the end zone first, scored. The Montreal defense was great. Never a doubt. Montreal covers. Both our teams covered. I started the season 2-0, and that was short lived. But either way, um, I'm excited for this week. You get a backup quarterback for Ottawa. I think we're going to carry over on Friday night there in Ottawa, but we'll see. We'll see if Eugene Lewis can find the end zone. Maybe I think it might be garbage time, but it would be cool to see a big streak like that stood for a while to be broken.
Yep. Anytime you get a record like that, it's always fun to follow it as it gets close. It's a blast. So excited for everybody that gets to experience it. I hope he gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I have the Argos. The Argos showed their or they posted the championship rings. I sent
You
you those.
texted it to
That
me.
it was sick. It's just so clean, but all like kind of white with the diamonds, and then that light blue.
It's
Got to
gorgeous.
give credit where it's due.
It is gorgeous. They are perfect. They are perfect. I would love one, even though I don't like the Argos, just because of, and I don't wear rings. It's a pretty ring. I need it. I need it.
It was kind of cool if you slide through the post that they posted. It like the like top comes off, and then it's like a stadium kind of thing. I didn't read all about it, so I'm not gonna pretend to say what everything stood for. And then they had some engraving on the inside that was also in light blue. So yeah, pretty sick ring there. Um, I mean, that takes care of most most of the beginning of the week or the beginning two games. I really don't have any in-depth analysis because both games just felt like they were on a stranglehold. The last two games felt kind of cracked in a way where it was just pretty much one team doing most of the dominating. But we got our first return of the year, Wooden, for Hamilton. That was a hilarious return. Just runs into the pile, pops out the left side, and not a soul is there for him.
It was great. Yeah, like you said, neither of those last two games were particularly, I want to say, fun to watch. Relatively compared to the good games, they were not good games.
The game as a whole, but getting to see Vernon Adams, it's hard not to say Vernon to see him shred again and look really comfortable was kind of nice. I'll say
It was good. It was good. And as low as we were about Calgary, I'm still very low about Calgary. But I agree. Vernon is very good. It's very fun to watch. Glad
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting. It felt very like the same thing that Ottawa did last year, just way sooner, where all of a sudden we're like, okay, Ottawa actually is good and you have to respect Ottawa. It's like, okay, well now Calgary somehow lost arguably a top two linebacker duo in the league between Awe and Judge. They bring in Vernon. Okay, we talked about how little we thought of their receiving core. I forgot about Dom Rhymes. That's on me. Coming over from Ottawa, but at the end of the day, they just shredded Hamilton. It was. I'm worried about Hamilton. They were kind of my like. I think they're way better than that's probably my worst take after week one is like, or the opinion I had that's worked out the least is how good I thought Hamilton was going to be because it was not good.
Yeah, they looked bad. Bo Levi played decently enough. I think he had 300 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He played decently, but yeah, I mean they don't look good. Now this week they play us. I'm sure we're gonna do all this talking. You're gonna bet on Saskatchewan. We're gonna say how bad Hamilton is, and of course they're gonna beat us on Saturday. But that I mean, they are not good. I don't want to jinx myself. Now I'm not gonna jinx myself. Never mind. I'm not gonna jinx myself. No comment.
Ooh.
I have
All
no further comment.
right, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Those last two, like you said, I mean, it's kind of tough to talk about those two games. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
though
really
there's
tough, but like it just wasn't. Hamilton tried to come back. Like they had the return. They were down like 17 at the time or whatever it was, and so it was like, okay, maybe. And then Calgary shut the door, which credit to them.
yep.
Just it's such a weird off season for them. And now, I mean, who knows? They're in Toronto this week, which might be the like grossest game. We need like a janitorial service that uh to
I,
sponsor us and call that the grossest game of the week or something.
please, please. I need the football A bowl. Two worst teams in the league every week. Just continuously play the football A bowl.
Okay, I'm down for
I
that.
love it. We got some janitorial company in Canada. Feel free to call us. We would like
We probably won't even charge you for the. How about this? We won't even charge you for the first read.
deal.
Deal.
I'll make
Yeah,
that deal.
that's binding on our end, legally binding. Um, I did for the last game, the BC game last week. Interesting stat. They had last time two Canadian quarterbacks started in the same game, August 20th of 1968. It was also BC and Edmonton. It was a fun game. It started out fun, 1-0 after the first quarter, out in BC, which was gross. I thought Edmonton was going to stay in it. I took them plus 5.5. Uh, and then it turns out Nathan Rourke is Timothy because he was slinging. Butler ran all over him on the ground, and exactly what you basically predicted within your crystal ball was Edmonton and all the talent wasn't on the same page week one.
Yeah. Trey Ford, who I think is good. I know you're higher
That
on him
can
than
we
maybe
that
anybody
play?
else.
Did you see the 3rd and 2?
Yeah.
The run around through the bomb. I was going bananas.
I don't think he had that good of a game. That was a great play. That was great.
Individually, great play. The game was not solid for sure.
Agreed. The receiver core did not come together the way many were expecting. One thing I also did note, I don't know how I missed this during the offseason. Edmonton Elks Ben Victor from Ohio State, another
Oh,
Ohio State receiver in the league. He had that sick catch against Penn State where he leaned back across his body and caught it
okay,
and then ran it in for a touchdown. That was sick.
okay.
He's incredible. I love Ben Victor. If you hear this, we're available. But the the rest, not Ben Victor, the rest of the Edmonton wide receiver core did not gel as well as we expected. Um, but BC, man, they are that game felt very similar to your game where they just kind of
Yeah,
they felt like they were, even though it was 1-0 after one, they felt like they were pretty in control the whole time. Rourke was awesome. The receivers were really good. I think McGinnis was in the 40s or 50s, and they still were able to dominate that game.
yeah. I think he had. I think I took a screenshot at one point, and everybody had like 50 yards. If you were if you were a BC receiver, basically you had like 45 or 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
To your point too, yeah. Montreal and BC played basically the same game where it was like it was close to start, but you're kind of like, okay, like one score, one stop, and I think this game is going to be in a stranglehold, and that's exactly what happened. BC, where I think they picked off Ford early on there in the second quarter, and then it was just like, okay, well, this one's just going to be a sim to end game after that, and like I said, Rourke was great. James Butler was, I mean, absolutely running. And didn't even have the best game this week. I mean, we got to talk. I mean, Calgary. We talked about Vernon Adams. Dedrick Mills. He's
Yep.
a couple of was it thrice he was in the end zone.
Yep.
Couple majors
I think
for
he had
Dedrick Mills.
95 yards on the ground. He played really good.
Yeah. So not to cut away from James Butler getting his flowers, but the reason. Okay, I started here with the Canadian quarterback thing. Uh, so August 20th, 1968, the last time two Canadian quarterbacks started the same game, which that is shocking. That maybe we should text that to our good buddy Graham. We posted that. I posted that this weekend as well because that was a pretty crazy stat. I think considering
Agreed.
68. I mean, so what is that? You're an accountant. How many years is that? 60, 57?
50, 57.
Yeah, 57.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. 57 years.
Account.
So that was, I mean, that's pretty crazy for like, I don't know, maybe I'm being
No,
crazy.
I'm with you. It feels like, and truly, I don't know enough about the history of this league, but my thought would be that the further back you go, the more Canadian it is.
Right? Yeah,
So, like, my thought would have been like in the 70s, basically everybody was still Canadian.
I would totally agree with that.
How I was picturing it, and I mean, clearly that is not the case.
No, not one bit. Um, yeah, totally agree there. That game was also BC versus Edmonton, which is interesting. The last two now. And it was also the first time two Canadians started week one. So that was actually like the overarching, but
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, that takes care of most of last week, I think. There wasn't really anything that like, I mean, that Trey Ford play was insane. That was probably the play of the week.
Yeah.
Besides maybe the return from Wooden. I don't know. The
I
the
agree. I think that was probably the best individual moment of the weekend.
was
So
brilliant.
I think like we said, the Rough Riders Red Blacks game was far superior to any of the other three.
Yeah.
That was still the best moment.
Totally agree there. Well, tonight in mere hours, BC heads to Winnipeg. Our boys, Snack Boy Pete and Tomafachuk, the world record holder, have their opener this tonight. I should say not this week. Well, I guess it is this week. So simultaneously this week and this evening. So should be a fun one. I'm looking forward. It'll be interesting. I mean, Rourke and BC after such a great performance on short rest. Not
But
that
no
winner.
Caleros.
Oh yeah, good
But
point too.
but no Caleros.
No
So
Caleros.
I mean,
So
obviously
I
that's
do have BC -2.5, and then I saw the line. Absolutely, the lines. I put my bets in on Wednesday. That's usually when I do it because that's when I feel comfortable for the rest of the week. Like guessing if somebody has an injury for the most part.
fair.
Because I like to do it. I like to do it all at once, just easier. Um, and I totally forgot about that. But I put my bets in, and a lot of the stuff jumped at least at some of the other options I was looking at. So I was excited to see that. But yeah, no Calero, so it'll be. I'm excited for Rourke to sling it. Our boy Eberhart had a couple snags last week, so
Yep. I'm obviously hoping that BC destroys them. Um, Last year Winnipeg started off really, really terribly. I don't know if I don't know the history. I don't know if that's a pattern. Is that something that they do and then they pick it up, kind of like the Cavs used to do when they had LeBron? I don't know if that's a pattern or if that's a one time thing, but it'd be interesting if it happens again. Just for pure, not even for me as a Rough Riders fan, just as purely the storyline. I think it'd be really cool. I hope they start off terribly, and
I
I mean
love
that with the
it.
best of intentions.
I love that. Then Friday, Montreal goes to Ottawa. We kind of hit that already. Saturday, we mentioned the crap bowl, if you will. Calgary goes to Toronto, and then your boys will finish everything off in Hamilton on Saturday night. That'll be a fun one. I mean, I
Yeah,
would assume.
like I said, it feels like the moments that we had multiple times last year where we both agreed one team was going to destroy the other, and then we were wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can totally get behind that. Um, I don't know. I feel like I'm out of the loop a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing news and stuff this year, more so than last year. But this has been a quick little episode. It's about 30 minutes or so. But
Good episode. It
um,
keeps people's attention long.
yeah, exactly. Try to be quick, efficient. You got to be efficient in the CFL. You only get three downs.
That's true. We don't want you guys sitting here for an hour and a half. They were teaching us all about that in auditing class this week. Efficient and effective. That's us. Efficient and
That,
effective. We're
look at
basically the
that.
auditors of the CFL podcast world.
Yes, we exactly are. I got a big MLB for the Brewers debut tonight. My boy
Mm.
Jacob Mizorowski, 102. Ooh, flamethrower. So I'm excited for that. But
Oh,
CFL wise, I mean, I over I look I know I overreacted a little bit, but I really think the Saskatchewan value is insane. There's nothing I want to see more than my buddy smiling at the end of the year, middle of November, raising a trophy. I'd buy you. I can't wait. With the winnings, I could buy you a Saskatchewan Grey Cup Champions shirt. So,
I'll make that deal.
yeah, at the end
But
of the
now
day,
legally, I have to bet on the Alouettes to win the title.
no, 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 don't do
Buy
that.
you a shirt. Oh,
We could,
I'm obligated.
no, 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 you don't have to.
Plus, I picked them to win. I think I should.
Just an entire season's worth of mushing
Yeah, it's
and
gonna be incredible.
complimenting. Yeah. Absolutely no animosity, just passive aggression.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
as far as the eye can see. Um, that's pretty much all I got, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about the sake of the games, but like, I'm also a person who loves like Rourke going through for like 350 and three tutties tonight. Like that would be so awesome. So it's like it's a CFL. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
But I don't need to be the person. I think those people are some of the most miserable on earth that are like, why is this game not good? Even though they're watching the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
I don't need to become one of those guys.
No, it's football. End of the day, it's football. We all love football.
That's
There's no
true.
such thing as bad football.
No such thing as bad football. Let's put that and the football logo on the shirt and sell millions probably to the Canadians out there. But yeah, man, I guess that's all I got. Unless you had anything else in your notes.
Now let's wrap it up. Go Rough Riders. Go Alouettes. We'll take it out.
Look at us. Who would have thought? The kumbaya. I'm sure by the time one of us loses our first game, uh, then the animosity will begin and the disdain and the sadness, the depression will set in.
Me personally, I never get angry or sad over sports. I
Not once.
never let sports impact my mood. Certainly not.
Historically, yeah. Historically, I've known you to be completely level headed when it comes
Historically,
to.
I'm always very calm when I watch sports. Maintain an even keel zen mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Your history describes so. All right, folks. Well, this has been the Football A podcast. Appreciate your quick, efficient listening. If you have, I don't know, a couple seconds here with all the extra time we're giving you back during this meeting, you could hit subscribe. You could tell a friend. There's plenty of things you could do to share this podcast with anybody with all this extra time we're giving you back to your day. So,
We will be eternally grateful.
absolutely. And shout out if you're a cleaning service in Canada and you hear this. Like I said, first ad free on the house.
Absolutely.
All right. This has been the Football A podcast. Thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you
Peace.
next week. That was fun.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh shit. That's stop video, not
That rocked.
recording. And